by popular demand. Fantastic. Anita was very, very angry that I didn't put her on the original list, so. Inspire us.
Hi. Paul made me come here. This was all forced. Well, I'm Anita from Canada. I know Anna and Katarina from Canada. I kind of have two returnee stories. So I was born in Canada, Montreal, and then my parents and my sisters moved to Croatia when I was grade 4. So I don't know how old you have to be, but grade 4. And my dad was working in Canada, and it was my sisters and my mom. And the first year here was in a cello, right, not far from Zadar. So that returnee story is great, because I was a kid, it was awesome. A lot of stories like what Sime said, just playing around in the cello, going to, the potok would freeze, we would skate on it, go to the polje and help Baba and Dida and everybody. And then again, also, like, just the freedom as a kid, like, we would be in the kvart, and, like, to me, what felt like 11 p.m., like, we would not be home, it was dark, all the doors were unlocked, and no one was calling us. We didn't have phones, for one, but no one was looking for us, so we just kind of played until we got bored and came home. And then we ended up moving back to Canada. So I guess in my parents' perspective, that was like a failed returnee, right? But for me, all of my life we came back, I was in grade 8 to Canada. First of all, school was hard here. So number one, I was like advanced in Canada, it was great. And then I just always felt like, I'm Canadian, I've pretty much lived here my whole life, but somehow, like, I still don't belong. So it was always that, like, weird feeling, and I was always hanging out with, like, Croatian people. I didn't really have, like, Canadian friends. Like, thankfully, we had, like, Croatian soccer teams and, like, Croatian school, although I didn't go to Croatian school because I thought it was lame when I come back from Croatia. But, like, we had a lot of family, and it was always like Croatian surrounded. And just in general life and like working and living in Canada, it was just always somehow you don't belong, even though like you're supposed to belong. You were born here, like you lived here. So that was one of the things that kind of always was pulling me back. And I have a lot of family here and a lot of support. But still, it was like really, really hard to convince myself that I could do that. It's not like I was going to a random country and some random spot in the world. Like, I had a lot of familiarity. I knew the language. I would come every couple of years, and like, I forget who mentioned it, but I would live my life in Canada saving money to like spend my 2-3 weeks in Crow, and like that was my life. Like, that was what I looked forward to. And so at one point, I think I'd broken up with a boyfriend, and I was just kind of doing my thing, working 9 to 5, driving to work, driving home, and like Anna said, hey Paul, you want to meet on November 27th at 4 p.m.? You got time? Yeah? Okay. That was kind of the life, right? So I thought, realistically, 1 year from now, what am I going to achieve in Canada that will, like, if I go to Croatia for a year, come back crying, who cares? Like, I tried. So I kind of gave myself an ultimatum. And I just said, forget, like, that's it. I'm going. Started saving, paying off, you know, debt, credit cards, whatever, and just saving enough money so that I could just leave. And then one of the things that helped me was actually, you did those interviews a couple of years ago, because I read them. So I would read them. Yeah, I would read them, and I was like, hey, I can do this. Like, there are people who have done it. I can do it. So that was a big part of, you know, what helped me throughout that, like, year of preparation. I had decided, but it was kind of like, yeah, I can do this, keep going. And then I guess part of the reason, like, I didn't want to do the interview is because I felt like it was, like, too easy for me. Because I came, I had, you know, my stric and my strina and my cousins, and I knew all of them, and I was staying at stric and strinas, and he, you know, got me my osobna and this and that, and kind of everything was handed to me with a lot of help. And then, but I did come without a job, so that was kind of, but then I, like, looked around here and ended up finding a job within Canada, remote, and I think maybe even COVID helped with that because a lot of stuff was more remote. And so yeah, now I'm here for 3 years? 3.5 years? Going to Canada for the first time since COVID started now for Christmas with my boyfriend, who's never been to Canada. And yeah, I mean, I always say, you know, if you can, try it, because really, what are you going to accomplish where you are at that point? Or what's going to, you know, life keeps going. You can always move back at the end of the day. So, yeah, try it if you can. And again, people will always be there to help. And you have people that have returned, and we're always happy to help because we also understand, too. We know what that feels like.
How do you feel about going back to Canada for 3.5 years? Are you a bit nervous, or are you...
I'm excited to see my family, but what I was telling Anna, never in the last, like, ever since I've been here, I've never been like, oh, I miss Canada. Like, no. I miss my family, but Canada itself, no. Never. Whereas, like, I was living in Canada for how long? 27 years, and I was like, oh, Croatia, right? So, but yeah, I don't know.
What are the things you love most about living here?
What I love, I love that it's laid back, like many of us have said. I love that everybody comes here in the summer. So anyways, I get to see everyone. Yeah, laid back coffee dates for 4 hours. Who's working? No, not me. And again, like, I don't have the stories of bureaucracy like everyone else because I was kind of, I got a lot of help. So that was really good. And then, of course, you meet, like, I met my boyfriend, Anna met her boyfriend, and that helps a lot too. So, yeah. I don't know. What else? That's it?
Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody else want to come up and say something? Going, gone? Okay, well, that concludes the sort of semi-formal part of the evening. So thank you very much to all our speakers. You were fantastic. Got some quite good insights there. We'll break those down and put them onto YouTube. We're starting a Facebook group called TCN Returnee Networking Group. So if you'd like to join that, we're going to start building that up slowly. And if you'd like to have another event like this in Zadar, maybe in a couple of months, and you think you can get some more people, we're more than happy to organise it and get different speakers and stuff. And the idea is to try and go around the country a little bit to different places and to start building sort of a bigger network and stuff. So thank you very much to everybody for coming. And my beer is empty, so I'm going to the bar. So that's the end of the official thing. Thank you.